Hey guys, Mauro here. Welcome to my podcast. We will talk about Indian Wells, of course, about Dominic Thiem winning, Federer. I want to talk a little bit about Nadal, Raonic, and a few more players. And I like talking about those players. And whenever there is something that I think that it's good to mention about their game, something that have not done new or something that they didn't do according to what I saw. Um, I like to mention it, especially when it's like a tip, something if they did something different. So first thing is Dominic Thiem beating Federer in the final. I mean, for some people that might come as a surprise. Federer was playing well. I had to say that I saw him playing pretty well, hitting the ball really nice, very clean. But I have to say that I have never seen Thiem playing so solid, so steady, being so aggressive. He knew that the only way to beat Federer was being aggressive. And he knew he had to do it from the get go. And I have, if you haven't seen Thiem playing live, it's well worth it because the guy is, um, I get to go every year to Acapulco to watch a tournament over there. That's my hometown. So I have to say that the last time I saw Dominic Thiem playing was like I don't know, like 3 years, 4 years ago. He was playing actually in the last qualifying round in Acapulco. He was playing golfing. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, both of them were not even in the top 50 in the world, and a couple of years later, both were on the top 10. So, but anyways, in that match, Goffin beat Thiem, and that was, of course, I mean, I don't have to mention it was a really good match. But one thing that I want to say is, if you haven't seen Thiem playing live, there is only probably two or three players that I've seen play live. I have seen pretty much all of them. There is only one. There's let's say two or three players that I've seen live that really impress me the way they play. And Thiem was one of them. I mean, the guy he just the raw power that the guy has, and many times when you see a guy like Federer, it's not fair because you see the guy play and he can hit the ball as hard or harder than any guy out there, but because he doesn't show the effort that he puts on the shot, you don't really appreciate it as much. But when you see a guy that muscles the ball like Nadal and like Thiem, I mean that impresses you. I'm sorry you see my dogs around the place. Yeah, that's more impressive when you see a guy putting more effort and really muscling that ball, and you see him in person. And I remember very well the guy. I remember one point he was playing and the guy was moving backwards to hit a backhand. I mean, like from far back from the baseline, and he's moving backward and swinging forward, and Goffin was coming forward, and Thiem he hit one flat, not flat, but I mean one massive backhand down the line to pass Goffin. I mean, I was like, I cannot believe this guy hit that ball with so much power, moving in one direction, hitting in the other direction, straight down the line. I mean, it's just amazing, and I think that he knew the only way you can beat Nadal and Federer is you gotta be super aggressive. You have to raise the level of your game to probably to heights where you've never been, to a level where these guys probably have never. They have been, but they have not been able to keep it for so long. To keep it for for games, and not even games. I mean, when you talk about sets, there have been guys. When you see Nadal and Federer, those guys, that there are players that they can throw punches with them, probably for a few games a set. But when you see a guy that can really keep it up for a set and the next set and the next set, that 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 is that is a massive shift of mentality. And sorry guys, it's not only the mentality, it's the belief, technically being consistent to do it. Sometimes we're playing well, and then the bubble pops in your head, it pops up, and you say, wow, I'm beating this guy, I cannot believe it, boom, and that moment is gone. The other guy beats you because you woke up, because we think like, okay, I was not supposed to be this guy, and that moment, boom, that's when the bubble pops. See, so I have to say, you know what, kudos to Thiem. That was a, I mean that was a major win for him, not only because he beat Federer, but because of the way he beat him. Coming back, he pretty much, I mean, not, no, I don't want to say that he destroyed Federer on the second set, but on the second set, he's like the guy that was fighting in the ring, and he just came out throwing punches and connecting everything. And the third set, he was very close to. I mean, on the first, if I'm not wrong, in the very first game of the third set, he was this close to being broken his serve, and um, or the first time he served on the second serve, like, and on the third set, I mean, I don't remember. But anyways, that was massive to me. I'm really happy for him, because clay season is coming, and I like him. I like a guy that is classy. I like a guy that puts a lot of effort in the way he trains, the way he works. And if there is one thing that I noticed on Thiem ever since the first time I saw him play. I say, you know what, this guy probably has not as much talent as Kyrgios, or probably doesn't have as much game as Zverev, and I mean, his game is probably not as attractive as many of those guys, or might seem like he's not as talented like but I truly believe, in at least to me, Thiem is, not by far, but very clearly, he is the guy that has the most, the mental toughness of the new guys in the tour. Of that, he's not so young like Zverev and those guys, but he's, like, he's relatively one of the new guys, the new generation. And one thing that I always think, that say, you know what, this guy, he's got that Federer and Nadal like toughness, like keep pounding and pounding and pounding, even when he has a bad day. And I mean, beating Nadal on clay, which he has done, I think, a couple of times at least, that's no easy task. So I'm not surprised that it finally paid off for him on hard court, because he has the game and the power and the speed to be a good player on hard court. And I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure that this win is gonna really help him mentally to say, okay, that's it. This is how much you can, this is your potential. This is how far you can go. Now, that happens a lot of time to us guys. You might have a good match against a guy, and you say, well, you know what, I was going, I was fighting in the match, and we were at the same level, but in the end something happened, that he finally ended up beating me or something. But sometimes we have a close match with someone, and it doesn't even have to be a score like a 7-4 or a 7-5 or a 6-4, 7-5 or 6-7-6. You know, sometimes it's a 6-3, but those three games that you won, and the set in general was a very tight set. The points were really, really fought by both, and we sometimes we have those matches or those situations in life where it shows you that you could have the level to you have the potential, but you just don't believe, and that's why you came short, and many times we have those opportunities, and we don't explode from there. We just, oh well, I did good, that just says that I could do better, and we kind of happy with that. Yeah, I could do better. And okay, do something with it, work harder, believe more. Working harder, it's easier to make you believe more in yourself. You have to add something more to your training or whatever you're doing. in order to raise the game and say next time I want to have a shot at it. I want to have a chance to win. I don't want to. I don't wanna be in the fight for the first 10 rounds and then in the last two I'm out. Okay, so I'm hoping that this is something that is gonna help Thiem. And I'm pretty sure I didn't get to see Federer's press conference, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna be happy because with the way he played. Because the truth is that Thiem yesterday was in the zone. The guy was just. I think that any player that would have played him the way he was playing yesterday will have had a really hard time to beat him because the guy. Now that's what happens when they play Federer or Nadal too. I don't know if he will have played the same way he plays somebody else, but that's what happens when you play these two guys in specifically. They bring the best. They bring the unknown game that these guys have never many times I've never seen before, or they don't think they're capable of doing. And sometimes we do that. We play a guy that is much better and we have nothing to lose and we say, you know what, just go all out there and do your best. And you end up performing amazingly and you say, wow, that is just a flash. That is just something that is showing you the potential that you can have. And then from there, it's up to you if you do something with it or if you go back to being average or mediocre or whatever. But anyways, Federer's game, I think he was playing very well. I mean, he probably looked a little. There were probably some points, important points where he messed up, but in general, I think he's playing pretty solid. Um, I got to see a little bit of Raonic as well. I feel bad. Raonic is a very. I think that for a guy that is so big, he moves very well. From the big guys, I think he's probably the one that moves the best. The guy, you can tell that by his physique that he works his legs a lot. That he works a lot on the way he moves. I think it's Barrett. That's one thing that he has improved a lot. He's a big guy, and you can tell that they noticed that he needed to improve his footwork and the way he moves because he wasn't moving like that in the beginning when he just broke into the tour, and he's working better. He's moving better. Raonic is a good player. I think that he's got the serve. I think he has a good forehand. His backhand, I don't think his backhand is nowhere near to be a top five in the world. I think that's one of the things that he should really improve. And I don't know if he has the belief to go any higher than that. I know he got to be like 3 or 4 in the world at a certain point, but I feel bad for him because I think that this guy should have done much more by now. But unfortunately, I don't see him doing more than what he probably make it to close to the top 10 or probably will make it top 10. But he's a nice guy. I really like him. I like his character. I like his class. But I don't. I think that he needs to work backhand and mentally as well. Djokovic losing in the early rounds. Well, somebody was saying we don't know if something is wrong with him physically because he looked tired. I didn't see the press conference. I don't know if there was anything wrong with him. He definitely looked like something was wrong. I don't know if he was tired. To me, just it looked more not like an injury, but he was tired. He's been doing pretty well all year, and I mean, he's got to get to a point just like any player that mentally and physically they're gonna be like, you know what, I need a slump or I need I need to lose in an early round at a tournament so I can rest for a week, at least 2 weeks or so. I don't know if he's gonna play Miami, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna be. I'm sure he's gonna be ready for clay. That's one thing I can tell you for sure. He's gonna be ready for clay, and he's gonna be on fire. And if I were Nadal, I will be really worried about Djokovic on clay because he has already shown before that he can if he's in his A game, he can beat any player and well, I mean, it's just I just think that the rest of the guys have to be ready. Talking about Nadal, well, his knee again. I feel so bad for him because I mean, I unfortunately I feel that Nadal's body is paying. I think that all the punishment that he puts in his body every time he plays is finally catching up with him. Well, not finally, because it's been like that for a while, but I think that it's something that unfortunately, at this, he's not a kid anymore. He's not in his 20s, so it's gonna be the good. It's gonna be difficult for the rest of the year, except Clay. The good thing is Clay is coming, so I think that he's gonna be ready for the French. I'm sure he's gonna be hungry. He's gonna be. He's playing well. He's playing really well. He's serving really well. His forehand and backhand, I see him very solid too. Um, but if I have to say who's favorite, my favorite, not that I want to win. I mean, I would like Federer to win on clay, but I don't think he's gonna win on clay. But if I had to pick a favorite to win, I don't know. Nadal. I know Nadal knows that his best chance to win a major is clay, but at the same time, I think I don't know. I don't know how Djokovic gonna be. Especially, I think that when Djokovic is in his peak and Nadal is in his peak, Djokovic is better. To me, is clearly better. So I really don't know how they're gonna arrive to the French, both of them. So I don't know. But anyways, I want to mention really. I want to mention also on the women's side. That Andrescu, this Canadian girl that she won. I'm really happy that new blood win tournaments like this. It's amazing how a girl that has 18, if I'm not wrong, she's 18 years old, and she comes out with no pressure. She plays like she plays so well the whole tournament, and beats several players that are really good. She beats Kerber and all that. I mean, and she wins the whole thing. It's just one more proof of when you know when your mind is in the right place and it's not under pressure. I'm sorry, guys. It's amazing how that how big of an impact that can be on your game and everything else. I mean, this girl had nothing to lose, and she beat a bunch of players that were just really good players, very well ranked, former number ones and everything. And well, she just won Indian Wells. Now she's someone. Now she's gonna have to go to other tournaments, and she's gonna have people playing with her and say, "Oh, this is Indian Wells winner." From now on, it's gonna be another story. Let's see how it unfolds. Let's see how she develops, because now she's gonna be like in reality in tennis. Like, okay, now you're gonna have people that are gonna play you, and they're gonna throw everything they got because now you're someone. You're not some player anymore. So we will see what happens with her. It's amazing how Bouchard has been trying for years to come back to be the player that she wanted to be, and it was a total meltdown. Bouchard was a total meltdown. That's why, I mean, when a player got to be in the top in the top positions in the world, and all of a sudden they go down. I mean, it's not like the game breaks apart like that, guys. It's not like, oh, she doesn't know how to hit the forehand anymore, or the serve, or the backhand or volley. No, it's to me it's so mental that a player cannot unlearn how to play. A player can have other factors that will affect their mentality, so it affects their body, so their execution is not nearly the same execution, and or that it was time ago when they were good players. That can happen, but it's not. I don't. That's why when I hear people are saying, oh yeah, well, they're not doing well anymore because of his forehand or his backhand. I say, you know what? If they already reach this height with the game they have, and then all of a sudden, or for whatever reason, they're in a slump, or they go down on the ranking and stuff. I always, I mean, unless it's an injury, unless it's like someone like Nadal that is having problems because of their age, and there is injuries or finally catching up with you and stuff like that. Well, that's a different story. But otherwise, I always think that, you know what, there is something emotional, something mental that is messing up the game of this person, and they get in a slump and they start thinking, I'm not good anymore, and you start doubting yourself, and you start doubting your main weapon that could have been your serve or your forehand, and then you start doubting that, and that goes to your body and mind are just a circle. The way you think and the way you feel, and the way you feel and the way you think, and the way you think and the way you feel, and the way you feel. So if you think negative and you think weak, he's gonna feel negative and he's feel weak, and he's not gonna feel like you're hitting the ball well, and it's gonna go up here and you start having doubts, and you start having doubts, and I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to win enough games against this guy. I used to beat this guy. I probably won't do it now, and then your body starts responding, being fearful. I mean, it's just this. It just goes around, guys. The way you think and the way you feel, and the way you think and the way you feel. That's why when you have when you start playing and you start doubting yourself, you might be hitting the ball really nice, but you start having ideas, and it's immediately going to reflect on the way you hit the ball. Now, it could be the opposite. You're probably not playing, you're not playing very well, but you're thinking right. And if you're thinking right and you don't know how to work it, it's it you the way you hitting the ball can go and reflect and start working, and start getting its way in your mind, like saying, well, I feel good, but I'm not hitting good. So it's very that's why that's one of the wonderful things about tennis. It's got to be a combination of what you have between your ears and what happens from your neck down. So well, that's all for this podcast, guys. um let me know what you think. I want to see your suggestions. Give me a like, subscribe to the channel. And it was good to be here with you all. And go out there, stay centered, be bold, be perseverant. I'll see you next time. Thank you.